Well, good afternoon. It is Tuesday, the 15th of November, and a call to order the monthly meeting of the Norwalk Board of Fire Commissioners. We have a quorum with Reverend Destruge and Mayor Rilling. First item on the agenda is acceptance of the minutes of the regular meeting of October 18th. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Any corrections, deletions, additions?
Yes, a few of them. The first one on page 1, my name is misspelled. Desturge, D-E-S-T-U-R-G-E, should be D-E-S-T-R-U-G-E.
Okay,
There are a couple of other typos. On page 2, under Assistant Fire Chief, the title Assistant McCabe. I don't know if it's standard to call Assistant McCabe, but I thought that Assistant Chief McCabe is more appropriate and consistent.
where am I seeing that?
On page
Oh,
two,
yes,
bottom,
Assistant Chief McCabe, yeah,
Assistant Chief
down at the bottom, yep.
at the bottom, and I think that happens again somewhere else. Yeah. Oh, on page. Let's see. Where am I? Page 3.
Okay,
Above the Fire Marshal report, Chief McCabe, Assistant Chief McCabe,
okay,
in the 2 paragraphs.
yep, got it.
And on page 4, I looked for the same error was done consistently. On page 4 on the training report, Chief McCabe, Assistant Chief McCabe. And at the bottom of the page, right before local 830, the same thing, Chief McCabe.
Yep, okay.
And I think that's, oh wait, there's one more. No, is there? No, that's it.
Okay. Chief, do you have any corrections?
I do, just on the very first page, the very bottom, it has the date June 21st on there, should be October 18th.
Yeah, you're right.
Everything
Okay.
else is October 18th,
Okay, very good.
and that's it.
Okay, so all in favor of approving the minutes as corrected?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimously. Item 3, there are no action items. Chief, item 4.
Okay, the budget. Notes here. So we are 1/3 of the way into this year's budget. We should be at a third, right? 33%.
Mhm.
We're coming in at 29.9, which is pretty good.
That's very good.
Very
Um, Just so you're all aware, we're gonna get into some situations where by the end of the year and early next year, will be possibly 8 vacancies, 9 vacancies, until we put that group on, but they won't come on until actually the end of May. So we'll be showing some vacancies for the next 6 months, so that'll reflect in the overtime account. The actually sick time number for October versus last year actually came down 13 shifts, which is a good thing. And really, that's about it for the, we're working on, obviously, we're working on this new year budget.
Yes.
So there's some things we're going to talk about in executive session that we may want to either put in the capital or the operating budget, but we'll talk about that later. Budget report, that's what I have for now.
Okay,
Thank you. I don't have any questions except the comment, Chief, if you could arrange to send us an updated roster based on the most recent advancement and changes that were made in the staff.
Yeah,
Thank you. Because that also shows the number of present vacancies within each of the units.
yes, it shows where everybody is stationed and then where the vacancies are.
Right.
Tomorrow, let's say the 15th, in 2 days, we'll be making a new deputy chief, a new captain, a new lieutenant. because Todd Smith is retiring effective the 17th.
Okay.
That'll be reflected on the new roster.
Okay, excellent.
And then the following month, the end of December, if everybody stays till then, there'll be another round of vacancies, but we can send you a new one after that.
Okay,
Okay. Next item on the agenda, Assistant Fire Chief of Administration, Assistant Chief Conti.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, Commissioner DeStrouge.
good afternoon.
So what we have, we're just pretty much continuing projects, our mobile data terminal, the software upgrade. We've got all the equipment's been ordered, which, and depending upon how long the the lead time is going to be, we're doing the software build right now, and that's probably going to be done before the equipment comes in, which is actually a good thing, because then they'll be able to upgrade it right away. And what we're doing is Gabe is actually giving us a computer in the interim, and so we'll be able to test all the software before it even gets in and installed in the rig. So it should be seamless. Everything's going pretty well though. With that, it's going smoothly. The station alerting system upgrade is in the process right now. I've got the electricians. They're going to start running wire and upgrading station 2, and they're just going to move along from there. They're looking at, they said, 6 to 8 months, depending upon everything, but we're looking good there. And everything seems to be going according as planned. For the buildings, station 3, I've got a cost analysis that's almost finished, I was told. So I'm trying to get an exact pricing, because some of the we had to essentially I brought in some more contractors, and they're figuring out the best way to go about upgrading the floor and lowering it to increase the capacity. Station 5, everything went through. We got awarded the extra money, and the contractor's been contacted, and now everything's in legal. They're just waiting to sign the contract, and we can learn when that process can move forward. But everything seems to be moving with that. And the bathroom renovation that I obtained the drawings, and I obtained the cost analysis, and we'll discuss that. Try to put that in for the capital, and upgrade the bathroom facility for Station 5. I'll take any questions this time.
I have no questions. Very busy. Things are moving along nicely.
No questions either.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
That brings us to Assistant Chief McCabe, Assistant Chief of Operations.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Under operations, specifications for Norwalk's next 2 fire engines have been completed, and we've sent them down to purchasing to be put out to bid. We should be hearing back from them soon. Deputy Chief Markowitz has pre-planned and developed a standard response to fire alarms and emergencies at the newly renovated Jefferson School.
Okay.
We are reviewing our tactics and our equipment and procedures for fighting fires in residential high-rise buildings. And that's an ongoing project with Deputy Chief of Training, John Maggio. And preparations are being made for onboarding our next recruit candidates to have them ready to attend the Connecticut Fire Academy class in February.
Good. Yeah, we want to make sure we try to stay on top of that.
Yes, yeah, we actually have them coming in to complete some preliminary paperwork and details on Friday. So we're underway.
Okay.
As for calls, in October, we did 780 incidents. There were 12 fires, 4 of which were building fires, and 5 of those were vehicle fires. We had 45 rescues, including 28 motor vehicle accidents, 3 motor vehicle versus pedestrian, and 5 vehicle extrications. We responded to 465 EMS calls, 28 hazardous conditions, 19 service calls, 136 fire alarms, most of which were unintentional false. We responded to 75 smoke scare good intent calls, and it's put our cumulative statistics from January through October at 7,123 incidents and 10,035 total runs. And you can see that we are up 842 incidents and 127 runs from 2021.
Wow.
Can take any questions?
Impressive.
On the emergency response, a emergency medical response,
Yes.
that comes out to like 15 calls a day.
Yes, yeah, it's been very busy, and Chief Conti and I are actually working with dispatch to look at the coding just to make sure that we're responding to the incidents that we need to be, and that we're keeping the resources available for any calls where we're not needed, because those calls are up quite a bit. But of course, we want to make sure that we get out to the incidents where we are needed as first responders.
Yeah. Okay. Commissioner, any questions from you?
No questions. Great job. Thank you for the report.
Thank you.
Yeah, because you were averaging 19 calls a day, about pretty much steadily. Now you're up to 25.
Yeah, we're well up over 20 now.
Maybe we can take a look at that as we move along.
Mhm.
Fire Marshal Sawyer.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Okay, for October, we had 174 total inspections, 74 notifications sent out, 3 pub ed events, 20 plan reviews, 6 liquor license inspections, total income of $2,640, and $2,200 of that was for the plan reviews. We had 7 fires and 2 code issues, RE hazards. We're down a couple of full-time guys, so we're doing the best we can with the residential inspections, trying to keep them up. Just want to let you know that.
What's the reason you're down? They're just out injury, or
Yes,
and what's the anticipated return for them?
that's unknown to me.
One has been out, Mayor, for 18 months next month. We're looking to settle that. And then
Okay.
another one has been out, and then he came back to work, and he's been out now on another operation for God knows how long.
Okay.
So
All right,
we are
well,
toward the end.
I know Ms. Fogel will be working with Kerma and working to see that we keep track of that. Good. Commissioner Destrucci, you have any questions?
No questions. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Luca, Emergency Management.
Great, good afternoon. Very quickly, we actually did our annual snow briefing yesterday with the emergency management team, which is really just a good way to get everybody on the same page for the coming months as far as snow response. So we had about 40 people on that call, and it did raise a couple questions. Again, just things that we may want to update on the Snow Center and some of our publications and outreach. So we'll work on that. Again, nothing significant. Focusing now on holiday safety and of course the Snow Center. So that should be up on the city's website pretty soon, if not today. And then also working with the police department on updating the city building response guide to add more information on active shooter. That seems to be the questions. Those seem to be the questions that we often get from city employees. So really, again, expanding that section, and then hopefully maybe after the new year, after the holidays, do some Zoom training for employees. Again, just given the prevalence of active shooter response across the country, I think it really is top of mind for a lot of city staff, actually for a lot of residents. So again, maybe trying to do another in-person or again, Zoom training for city staff, just as a refresher, answer questions, especially for folks that may be a little bit newer. So that's it.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that training is really important. Just hope you never need it, but it's better to have it and not need it than to not have it and need it.
Yep, exactly.
Commissioner?
I agree. Thank you. And I know that that question is also coming from residents in our religious organizations. Quite a few
Right.
number of churches have asked about the possibility of having that training.
Correct. And I know when I spoke to PD about the call you had made, They had done a training for houses of worship a few weeks ago, but I'm not sure how widespread the invite went. So I'm going to again reach out, try to get a better sense of what outreach had been done for that, and then maybe we offer something again. I know with the holidays coming up, that's kind of a busy season for most houses of worship in many denominations. So again, maybe wait till after the new year, do another bigger outreach, and try to get a few more folks and see if they can repeat the program.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Training Division report, Deputy Chief Maggio.
Good afternoon, Mayor. Good afternoon, Commissioner Destruge. Fighting off a little bit of a cold and that's a little bit of a fever, so I apologize if I
All
sound
right, a lot of us are doing the same thing, so we'll bear with you.
That's it.
current training activities, ongoing engine company pump and driver training that's been on there for a few months, and that's to anticipate those retirements. Ladder company, same thing. Tiller driver training, operator for our ladder trucks. We want to be prepared for all those vacancies. Some of the people that are retiring are some of our drivers and also personnel that are being promoted. So we're going to kind of lose them as in the firefighter roles and more into a supervisory role. So that's ongoing, and it'll probably continue, right through February or so, maybe even further into March. Item 3, annual fit for duty medical physicals, nearly completed. That's required annually, an OSHA item that we do fit for duty physicals, as well as to meet DOT compliance. The wellness coordinator, the daily injury prevention program, that's ongoing weekly. I think that program goes well, and a lot of our staff look forward to sessions with Sarah. Item 2 under number 4 is the wellness reassessments in October, November, and that's to kind of reevaluate the personnel that have been participating in the program. Well, everybody really, but for the most part, to see some changes or improvements in the personnel that have participated in the program for the last few years. Item 5, drafting water supply. If you see pictures 1 and 2, that's we use the site to Dakota Oaks. Allows us to train on their property. It's a good pond for us to draft. We don't do that too often. It's been a while, several years since we practiced drafting, because we have water supply throughout most of the city, but there are areas in Cranberry and other parts of town that don't have a hydrant system. So in those cases, we would need proficient in drafting, and that would become our water source to fight fires. So completed training. The captain's promotional exam is complete, and we've established a list. Mask item number 2, mask fit testing, an OSHA item that we do annually, required to make sure that any facial changes, any weight gain or loss would affect the way that our masks fit, and they need to be tested in the OSHA compliance. Lithium ion battery fires. I think that was on the agenda as well last month. We did more car-related lithium ion. This is more personal electronic devices, as well as scooters and hoverboards. A lot of these type of items are stored in the house, and fortunately not in Norwalk, but New York City is dealing with a lot of these fires, and they've been some fatal fires and large, high-profile fires. There's another one last where they had to do a roof rescue from that. These fires go very fast, extremely fast, and just due to a bad cell, and they're hard to extinguish because of the amount of heat that's produced, and unfortunately stored in everyone's homes. So I think it's going to be a problem in the future, but we're learning about them as technology changes. We try and keep up with. I don't think the industry is able to keep up with the problem, but at least we learn about it and see what the hazards are for our personnel and how we can attack these fires. Item number 4, attack hose testing. That's an annual item, again, also required by OSHA and NFPA. We do the supply hose in the spring and the smaller attack lines that we do in the fall. You can see a picture number 3, just some of the personnel laying out some hose and some of the pumps in the picture that we use to bring that hose up to test. Item number 5, limited visibility vessel navigation. This is a good time of year for that, as the temperatures change and You either have the water warm, depending on relative to the air temperature coming down as fast, you're left with, even on a nice day on land, bright and sunny, ends up being very foggy over the sound. And it's a good opportunity to send the boat out and let the guys use their navigation equipment and really navigate by electronics. And you can see some of those picture number 4 and 5. Those are days where it was really bright and sunny on land, and no one would expect what the conditions are out on the water. But it was a good opportunity for the guys to get out there and get some experience navigating in the fog. And then upcoming and scheduled training, we have a ground ladder deployment actually started this week, and we'll continue that into next week. I believe the Metro North rail safety was in the last commission agenda, as well as upcoming, as an upcoming item. And we do that every few years. It's because we do get incidents in and along the railway. We have the New Haven line and Danbury line, and there's hazards associated with the electrified or energized equipment, and how we can access cars, and if should there ever be a derailment or anything like that, we're able to learn every once in a while how we can penetrate some of these very hardened type vehicles. So it's an opportunity for them to come out and kind of teach us what we need to know and how to operate safely on the railway. Assistant Chief McCabe mentioned the high-rise training. So a lot of with a lot of construction that's happened over the years in Norwalk, medium rise, high rise, we're looking to revisit probably our sprinkler and standpipe operations. So we met with actually a retired firefighter that was hired back in the 90s with myself and Assistant Chief McCabe, but he's a fire protection engineer, and he's going to help deliver a class and maybe review our procedure and policy on some of these systems, some of the buildings, some of the hardware is changing to accommodate the larger buildings, and we need to ensure that we're operating in a manner that we can attack these fires using standpipes. And as mentioned, also the recruit firefighter training that's coming up. I believe it was anticipating the 8 vacancies. Likely that will be. I'm not sure that the time frame, but the new hires coming up, and that'll be, both academy training and also local in our department, are almost 1 week with our own type of training to kind of customize it to our own in-house procedure. That's it for the training division report. Any questions I can be happy to answer.
I was on mute again. They have a lot going on, so thank you. Commissioner, you have any questions?
No questions. Just thank you for all that you do to keep our staff and our men and women highly educated and prepared for anything that might come their way, and for new technologies. Thank you. It's so very important what you do.
Thank you. I have a great support with the assistant chiefs and the chief. So it's a team effort, and keeping everyone trained. It's a lot. Thank you.
Hey, Chief, under new business?
Okay, new business, the drop pension, just wanted to make you aware, one of the firefighters, Brian Kilcoyne, entered the drop effective February 1st, 2023.
Do we have the paperwork to go over, or?
The paperwork has been submitted. It's all been signed off already. Right,
Okay.
Tina?
All right.
Yes, I believe so. I'll double check.
Okay,
That's the
The
only
other-
one, the only new one?
just one right now, yep. So the
Um,
other item is the OSHA,
Motion.
just to let the other commissioner know about some of the citations that we had. A lot of these are very minor. Some of the exit signs are not lit, or they're covered up. Extension cords is always a big issue. So we had a meeting with Neil Remy yesterday, and we've been discussing a lot of the electrical problems, or the officers that don't have outlets. So we're working on that. as time goes on. The biggest item out of all of this is the turnout gear. And
Yeah, the old stuff versus new.
the old stuff versus new, and Ed has a presentation for you. I think we'll do that in executive session. Right, Ed?
Sounds good, Chief. Yes.
Yeah. So just, we're working on the OSHA citations. They wanted a fire extinguisher by the fuel pump. It's already been mounted. We took pictures, everything that we correct, we're taking pictures of. So I don't think we'll have any issues fulfilling everything that they cited us for. Including the turnout gear. We could work on that. So just wanted to bring that up this month as we're working on it.
All right, any questions, Commissioner?
No, thank you.
All right, under correspondence, Chief. I see we
One
have a-
quick letter, there was a thank you letter.
From Pastor
Halloween
Kissimmee.
night, we had one of our engines go over to Pastor Kissimis's church on West Avenue. They had a big Halloween, handing out candy and stuff. So we participated as a touch a truck event. And he just thanked us that, we made it very special for them, and all the kids really had a great time. So that was his thank you letter to us.
Very good.
now-
Now
Going to executive session.
we'll go into executive session. The time is 3:37. We will be returning to public session after the executive session.
Okay.
All right.
I believe there's,
Oh, sorry.
okay, it's 3:51. We came out of executive session at 3:51. During executive session, no motions were made, no votes were taken. Chief, I understand that you have two items that you'd like to have considered on the agenda.
Yeah, the first is the purchasing of the firefighters turnout gear that we call it turnout gear, for lack of a better word.
Commissioner Destruz, you want to make a motion to go off the agenda to bring that item?
I move to go off the agenda and add the turnout gear purchase to our agenda.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Go ahead, Chief.
Okay, so OSHA is stating that some of the second sets of turnout gear that we have are either 10 years or a little older than 10 years. And per the standard, they're not really allowed to be worn, even though it's a second set. So Ed has been working on a proposal to replace some of those or all of those sets, and that's the question is, do we go ahead and replace all of them so that everybody's second set of gear is less than 10 years old? Ed, you can go ahead and explain to the commissioners.
Yes, yeah, so everyone's primary set of turnout gear is under 10 years old. The second set that the chief mentioned is a spare set that we give each firefighter. It's usually their older set that they can wear while they're washing their primary set, because we have our firefighters by SOP wash their gear as soon as they get back from a fire to prevent the cancer risk, not to have them exposed to the carcinogens in the gear. So in order to get all of our second sets in compliance to OSHA by date, it would require a larger purchase of turnout gear. And I think the chief is considering where that should come from, whether that's going to go into capital budget for next year or a special appropriation of some kind.
Do we have a cost estimate?
The sets of gear are going to run about $3,000 each. And we're in the process of doing a full inventory now to see how many sets are out of date. But it would be, we'd probably be looking at $200,000 to get us in total compliance for both sets for every firefighter.
All right, why don't we put together a cost analysis and a request, and then we'll figure out how to proceed, especially once I get the OSHA letter, the notification, because from that point on, we have I think 60 days or something like that to come into compliance. And I
Right.
want to see what that compliance would look like when it comes to the turnout gear.
Very good. And then we should have a definite number as far as what it would cost to replace that number of sets by the time we get back together.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, you
Now,
mean,
if you can forward that to us even before the next meeting, that would be good as well.
yes. Mhm.
Yeah.
Keith, what's the other item?
Other item is the continuation from last month about the Station 4 addition. Mark has worked with the
Commissioner
architect.
Destrugge, you wanted to have a motion to go off the item, go off the agenda for that item?
I move to add a continuation of Station 4 discussion be added to the agenda.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, Chief, go ahead.
Okay, so Mark has been working with the architect, going over some drawings. I sent to you those separately so that you could review it for this meeting. So Mark, you want to fill everybody in?
Right, yeah, I went and got prices for conceptual architects and Antonazi came back. I also highly recommended by Alan Lowe. I've been consulting him on this as well. We came up with probably the most cost-effective way to, basically the goal is to relocate truck 1 from Broad River to Station 4. So we can and then allocate and then relocate and rescue 1 over to back to Broad River. And this would disperse our resources more equally in the districts. And in order to do that, we have to have a little bit more room at Station 4. I know this was brought up years ago, but what we did is I revisited this with Antonazi, and we basically the most cost-effective way to provide that extra room would just be a simple slab on grade, no basement addition off the back of the building. I've discussed it with Alan Lowe. He agreed, and Bill Ireland from Building Department agreed as well. I've had a lot of discussions. What this would provide is enough space, and it would actually renovate the existing building, which is in need of renovation, and it will also add to the new building. Doing this will provide. It will also provide the current OSHA conditions that we don't have in that building. One of them is separating the gear from the apparatus floor. We don't have enough room to do that right now. And now this will give us a separate closet off the apparatus floor that will provide that. This will also provide that same upgrade that I requested for Station 1, the supplemental air and the HVAC upgrade.
Yep.
This will provide for that as well. Also included will be upgrading the windows, which we couldn't do at Station 1. All the things that need to be done, plus adding the extra room to the building at what by all accounts seem to be just talking, it's about for the existing building, you're talking about a 600 per square foot cost, which is actually, it's actually comes in pretty competitive. And as well as, considering all the conditions and the contingencies that we would need being an old building, it ends up being about 780 square foot proposal. All in all, I did the comparison, I did the cost analysis. Basically, this would be a budget of about 2.5 million, and we would come in, according to Antonazi, we would be definitely, we would be within that scope of work to do this properly and responsibly. That's.
Again, why don't you put together a cost analysis?
Yeah.
Regarding the turnout gear, I don't believe, but you can check with Sharon Connors. I don't believe that would qualify as a capital item because they're about 3,000 a piece and you're ordering numerous ones. So I'm not sure that would be a capital appropriation, but you might want to check with Henry, actually.
Okay.
Check with Henry to see if that could be considered a capital item. And the same thing with the building. You might want to put that in, put that in your capital budget for the next coming fiscal year. And we'll see, you know, you don't know whether you would need, what your plans are in terms of starting that construction, but you figure out which year you want to have it appear.
What's your thought on using some of the ARPA money left over?
Well, we can explore that. I want to see how much we have. And we can check that. I'll check that tomorrow, see how much. I'll ask Henry how much we have too. I know sometimes we have $1 million, sometimes we have 4. I don't know. It always goes back and forth.
I heard it was
So-
not,
Yeah, I mean, so let's take a look at that as well.
okay.
Anything else, chief?
Nope, that's it
Okay,
for now.
okay, I think that brings us to the end of the agenda. Motion to adjourn would be in order.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, we are adjourned at 4 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the report.
Bye.
One.
Thanks, everyone.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you, Tina. Goodbye.